for joining us in this edition of the program where we are beaming live from the economic capital, Douala. The Indomitable Lions of Cameroon will be taking on Cape Verde and Angola on the 8th and the 11th of June respectively. Matches counting the 2026 World Cup qualifiers. And players are expected to arrive Yaoundé, Cameroon on the 2nd of June to begin preparation on the 3rd. But with this, the squabbles between the Cameroon Football Federation and the Ministry of Sport and Physical Education keeps moving to another level. We saw this week with the reconciliation and the arbitration chambers suspending the nominations made by Samuel Etofis and the Executive Bureau of Fécafoot. And we are asking the questions, who will be in charge of the two games as far as the technical bench of the Indomitable Lions is concerned? These and more are issues we shall be discussing in today's edition of 360 Degrees. Stay with us. You're welcome back. In the studio, we have some guests that will be helping us to understand exactly what is going on between Fécafoot and Minsep as far as the issue of appointing the technical bench is concerned. But before we shall get to meet our guests, let's revisit some of the news-making events of this week.
Despite threat from separatist fighters, thousands of people in Bamenda breathed the oath to participate in celebration marking the 52nd edition of the Unitary State on May 20, 2024 at the Commercial Avenue Ceremonial Ground. The celebration included the decoration of dozens of people with medals of honor.
26 years of service, and after working so hard with the team of the Northwest Regional Health Family, we are able to continue to give quality healthcare to the population of the Northwest region.
It was preceded by a military march past showcasing the various armed forces and their equipment, and the participation of primary, secondary schools and regional government delegations. The ruling CPDM political party was also present.
The kind of recognition of my work here with the team that I work. I want to dedicate this medal to all the youth of Africa, especially those who have been trapped in this crisis.
In all, it was an elected Northwest Regional Governor who chaired the manifestation in Bamenda.
I would like, therefore, to congratulate the military who gave us a very beautiful military parade. The civilian march where all the components of the society were mobilized, confirming that, yes, bit by bit, peace is coming back to our beloved region.
After the main festivities, the celebrants retired to feast in small groups with fireworks planned for the evening to cap off the day's events. It has been a bloody day of national unity in Bello, the gateway subdivision into Boyo division of the Northwest region. This follows the killing of 3 officials in the area, along them the mayor of the municipality. Dr. Ngong Innocent was gunned down alongside another municipal councillor and the inspector of basic education, Dr. Agi Aaron Ngong, allegedly by separatist fighters, shortly before the arrival of the divisional officer at the ceremonial ground. In fact, reports say the trio stepped away to go get the divisional officer who was to preside over the 20th May manifestations when they met heavy gunfire from the armed men. The same armed men are reported to have shot the antenna that provides network connectivity in the locality and its environs. This has rendered access to detailed information concerning the incident very difficult, reason why it is not clear whether the rest of the scheduled activities of the National Day took place as planned. Bello is one of the pilot subdivisions where the Ministry of Social Affairs is experimenting the free provision of birth certificates to needy children of school-going age. It should be recalled that the mayor a few months ago defended a doctorate degree from the University of Boya. there has still been no statement from the administration. This is the grim scene unfolding at Anatole roundabout in Douala. 18 shops, once bustling with commerce, now reduced to ruins at the heart of the central market.
I was already on bed, then I got a call around 10:15 like that. They told me, they sent me a video that the market is on fire.
The fire broke out around, I heard it was around 8 p.m. but I received a call around 10 p.m.
Amidst the charred remnants of their livelihoods, owners sift through the ashes, grappling with the magnitude of their losses.
I've lost millions. I for one, I lost millions.
For many young workers, the flames not only consume their workplaces, but also their source of income, forcing them to contemplate an uncertain future.
I'm a worker here, I work for somebody here. I don't know, the fire have affected people a lot. I have to go back to the quarter and start looking for a job to feed myself and the family, and you know how the economy is very hard.
Desperate pleas for assistance echoed through the chaos as victims appeal to authorities for aid.
Bottom should be the light problem, because I believe light is the thing that caused this whole thing, because the low voltage, where it comes in high and it can cause, you can see what it has caused.
The governor of the Littoral region and the divisional officer, witnessing the aftermath firsthand, offered solace and pledged to the stricken traders. While the exact cause remains undetermined, eyewitnesses speculate that faulty electricity may have sparked the blaze.
You are welcome back. We go straight to welcome our guest. I have by my left, I have Henry Warner. He has been here before and he's here again today. He's a sports journalist. Henry, it's a pleasure to have you here again.
Thank you very much, Cha. It was good responding positive to your second call.
Thank you. You just watched those reports there. What caught your attention?
Well, the bloody May 20 we had in Bello was the one that caught my attention. And of course, the fire incident that we had at Marché Central within the week as well. The crisis, we are getting to 8 years now. In the month of October 2024, clock exactly 8 years that this crisis all started and got transformed into an armed conflict, because it all started peacefully and then transformed in 2017 into an armed conflict. I just believe that the powers that be are not doing that which is necessary to counter this crisis, because if which they have been responding to it positively, then we wouldn't have been here talking about the crisis in the northeast and southeast regions up to date. So I believe that if those who parade the corridors of this country in terms of politics can therefore have to fasten their seatbelt so that they try to resolve this issue, because the lives that have been lost so far, we cannot continue this way. And it's getting too much. And it's so disheartening that we keep hearing that everything is under control. Well, that's what they keep on telling us. The north is under control. Look at the images coming in from Bamenda. Talk less of Boya, because people are not talking about Bamenda because of the opportunity. Go to Boya, go to Mamu, go to Ekona, and see what is left there. Some persons were being attacked in Oya, Lisoka, where I know very well that at the heart of the town. We cannot continue folding our arms or watch how our brothers and sisters are being perished each passing day. We think that the powers that we need to do that which they ought to do the right way, so that we should bury this problem, which of course has engulfed Cameroon. Boko Haram is not finished. The Anglophone crisis is ongoing. The economic hardship. So Cameroon is facing a multiple crisis, both man-made and that which are automatic made as well. So I think that, to my humble opinion, it's time to take the bull by the horn. To take the bull by the horn. Thank you so much. By my right, I have Barrister Geraldine Awasom Alia. I always make sure, I want to be sure that I pronounce the Alia very well.
Yes, you're right.
Yes. You are welcome.
Thank you so much. It's a singular pleasure to be here once more. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And by you, I'm sorry, I may not give you time to catch your breath. Barrister Tembe Samuel. He's coming all the way from Limbe in the southwest region. So we are honored that you were able to honor our invitation.
I'm also honored, sir.
Thank you so much. We shall be coming back to you. Barrister Geraldine, let me stay with you. This week, you listened to the decision of the Reconciliation and Arbitration Chambers of the National Olympics.
Yes.
Annulling, or let me say suspending, the technical staff appointed by Fécafoot. What is your reading of such a decision?
I will say this with my role. It really needs to come to an end because at some point we thought everything is settled. Not until we still had to find ourselves in this position in which we are. It's rather unfortunate considering we even have qualifiers for the World Cup which is coming up next door. And yet we have a decision coming in from the arbitration and conciliation chambers annulling, should I say, the executives from Eto'o or the governing body appointed by Samuel Eto'o. It is really appalling. It is really appalling what is happening right now, and I pray there should be a ceasefire because we need to work. There need to be a body. There need to be some collaboration between the bodies. That is the Fécafoot and Minsep, because we need to push forward. I really think the parties need to still have a rethink of what is happening, because the earlier the better. The qualifiers is next door, like I said, so they need to sit up.
Henry, were you surprised with such a decision from the chambers?
Not at all. I don't think I was surprised like every other Cameroonian. How can you be suspending a coach with whom you have no contract with? The decision of the Court of Arbitration and Sport is just doing the needful. I do not think I saw the reaction from different groups that we belong to as sport journalists in Cameroon. Reactions from different journalists criticizing, though there are those who are criticizing the president of that commission that she's not as qualified, and her profile came up. But I think it's not the very first time. I said this here some time ago when all of this cacophony started.
And we thought that it was just going to last for a while.
Yeah,
but
I said it clearly that Samuel Eto'o should go back and understand that you cannot fight a nation. He's a Cameroonian, and Fécafoot is under the government of Cameroon. Many may think that I'm taking side, but I want to believe that when Eto'o nominated Rigaud and his entire entourage, it was supported by the Ministry of Sport and Physical Education. The result was not fruitful. And then this time around, the ministry decided to appoint her own. Now, I think Eto'o would have let it go and allow McBreeze and his entire staff do their job, so that if the result is not fruitful tomorrow, they will not start blaming Samuel Eto'o again tomorrow. I
just want to come in so that our audience will not get us wrongly. When you say when Eto'o appointed, Eto'o did not appoint Rigobert Song and the rest. He simply proposed. Because when you look at the appointment letter, it was done by the ministry, the Minister of Sport and Physical Education, under high instructions.
But the proposal was made by
Fécafoot, yes,
and it was approved by the ministry. So this time around, the ministry proposed, Eto'o's proposal as well. His proposal was not taken into consideration, and the ministry decided to do their own proposal.
Why is it a bone of contention right now?
That's what I'm saying.
If I listen to you well, Eto'o is a problem.
For sure.
Okay,
accepting the choice of your partner.
I shall be coming back to you. It depends on how. Yeah, by Satembe, minutes after the release of the chambers, Eto'o and Fécafoot came out to say the chambers acted in illegality. One, that they did not respect the law, because when the decision was taken on the 8th, whosoever who had to contest had a maximum of 3 days. That wasn't done. Secondly, that the people who contested and then filed a case at the chambers were people Fécafoot had long suspended, which means that they did not have the legality to. So when all this is happening, do you think the chambers acted as it was supposed to?
Respectfully, let me divert a little bit.
Yes.
This issue between the Fécafoot and the ministry is becoming problematic, and it's giving Cameroonians some reasons to think that it appears the powers that be are splitting Cameroonians into two to put them to the pros and cons. Let them keep on getting themselves busy with things that are not really necessary. That is my observation, because we keep on getting into unending debates here and there, today, tomorrow, throughout, and nothing is being determined. When the issues are determinable, it's very easy for the issues to be determined. I have taken enough time, and I'm about stopping going through the Fécafoot ministry with my road. I've just taken out time to try to check the legality of what is transpiring between the Fécafoot and the ministry. I've looked at it.
Yes.
And we must agree. Firstly, I'm not taking side. Truly, I've recently been appointed as the president of the homologation committee for Fakoli, but I'm not speaking in that capacity.
Yes.
I'm speaking as a legal man. I have taken time and I've looked at the governing authorities, because for you to pass any decisions, you must have a foundation. They said foundation is a law.
Of course.
Granted that Cameroon is a nation as it's governed by its constitution. Checking by the provisions of Article 44 and 45 of that constitution, it gives an international instrument that Cameroon is a party overriding effects over national laws. Now the next issue that comes up is, who is Fécafoot? Fécafoot is an association. Just like any other association in Cameroon, the answer is yes and no. How is the answer yes and no in this context? It is, for want of better words, let me describe Fécafoot as an hybrid institution. It exists because it must be part of a governing, it must be part of an independent state. So the state is Cameroon, governed by the Cameroon Constitution, which I've just cited.
Yes.
That is the state. Now, immediately, that is how you have to first of all exist. But for you to survive as an institution and operate with the international sphere, the governing body, let me keep CAF and others and talk about FIFA, you must be completely independent. You must adhere to the provisions of FIFA status. It must be any law you are instituting, any law, any agreement you are getting into, it must align with what is in the FIFA status. Immediately there is a digression with respect to that. What happens? You are lawyer, it dies down automatically. Now, these are the issues that are happening between the ministry appointing and Fécafoot appointing. If you get into the FIFA status, yes, you confirm that it is Fécafoot that they know. They don't know the ministry.
Of course.
Yes, the Fécafoot is owned by the people of Cameroon, but it should not be managed by Cameroon. That's why I describe it hybrid. It has its own ways. It should be clear from political interference completely, and that is the same provisions in the Article 44 of the Fécafoot status, 40 and 44, which also talks. Now, when there is an appointment at the level of Fécafoot, at the level of institution, at the level of any other FA you may call, when there is an appointment, wherever it comes up, there is just one person who furnished the appointment to the relevant authority, which is FIFA, who furnished it, and who furnished it through their portals. It is Fécafoot. It is Fécafoot. Okay, I understand that they signed some sort of agreement sometime in 2015 or not, correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, they signed it in
2014 and 2015.
I have heard about the agreement, but if you check in our laws, you also confirm that in 2023, they revised the status of Fécafoot. It has been revised. And when you get there, if my memory does not fail me, around Article 44, we give about the executive power that the president shall propose and the executive shall appoint. Now, this document, this status, this is a national law. It should have overriding effect over any other agreement that have been, if not of issues of respectfully for want of proper word, if not of issue of probably some copy and paste type of drafting. You understand that at the time of drafting, this current status of amending, because it has existed before that, amending the current status which is existing, that document existed. If they did not contemplate it in inserting the provision on who should appoint, who should not appoint in the said status, therefore that document has already lost its value. It has been overtaken by events. That is my humble opinion. Now another issue comes up as to whether a decision has been passed somewhere or not. Who am I, a legal personnel, to challenge a decision that has been passed by a constituted authority when the pleadings are not before me? But in my humble opinion, the pleadings are not before me, so I cannot even know. We might be talking in the public thinking that the other parties, maybe Fécafoot, they submitted in opposition while they surely even submitted in admission.
But Mr. Tembe, we are talking about, because they quoted Article 87 sub 4 of the disciplinary laws or disciplinary code of Fécafoot, which states that even if you have to contest, it should be within 3 days. That was never done. That is where Eto and his executive is basing. And that the people who took the case file to the chambers, there are people suspended from Fécafoot. We are talking about the Association of Amateur Clubs. Yes. So that we are not saying you should challenge it, but that as a lawyer, how do you interpret such?
Okay. Now, you must first of all have a local standing. You must first of all have the right. You must of all have the right to stand as a party, to qualify as a party. Then can you institute an action against. Immediately you institute. The issue of there is in law, it is very clear. The issue of jurisdiction or local standing can be raised even after judgment. It can be raised at any time, even after judgment. It is immaterial whether the judgment is final at this particular time. That no, you ought to have raised it at the time. You did not raise it, but immediately you discover it that this person lacked a local standing to even initiate this action at any time, even 1 million years after it became.
Thank you, Barrister Alia.
Yes, sir.
When the chambers took the decision to suspend the technical staff appointed by Samuel Etofis, Etofis and the Fécafoot acknowledged the decision and said, okay, this decision, Mark Breeze, is inclusive. Did the chamber see it in that way, or they were trying to suspend by some particular persons?
The chamber did not see it in that line. Yes, I will not say they saw it in that line, because for me, Etofis knows he has to deal directly with FIFA, because he's directly the affairs of the state are supposed to be managed and governed. He's answerable to FIFA. It's rather unfortunate, like my colleague here said, that we have laws that are conflicting with each other, and then we find one article to hang on or look at it. But if I have to go right from the inception of all of this, I will take us to the 2014 law decree, which gave Fécafoot that full power, that full right to manage Fécafoot, to manage the governing affairs of the country. But what beats my imagination is still, it went on in 2015 to sign this agreement with Minsep. Why will you have the full powers to manage the affairs of your country, football, in terms of football and everything, and then yet the very next year in 2015 you have an agreement with the Ministry of Sport to share that power that you had exclusive? I think that's where the problem lies, and that's where it started, all of this that is happening. Yeah,
I think the problem is at the level of proposal and acceptance. I think that is where the major problem lies. Yes, Henry, in all this, Mark Breeze's name keeps appearing on FIFA website and disappearing. What is happening?
You just have to understand what is happening. Like Barrister made mention, that it is Fécafoot managing the portal. Of course. Reporting to FIFA who does what and who doesn't. Whenever Mark Breeze attends the meeting, he has been convoked, he has been invited for another meeting, a working session. Yes. On what grounds? Fécafoot is manipulated. I keep on saying that, to my humble opinion, if those who are within or around Samuel Etofis and his executive committee, from the onset, this law in this convention that the ministry signed with Minsep in 2015 is the bedrock of the problem we're having today. And to my home, I keep on saying that those who are working close with Etofis, they should have advised him that since this is where we are, this is where we are today, let us lay low this issue. After the World Cup, we'll come back to this issue and see how to eradicate this. Because if you look at the response of FIFA to Fécafoot, they stated clearly that their humble wish is that Fécafoot should be the one to manage football in Cameroon.
Of course.
But it is not being done because of this convention. The minister is based on this convention that is signed, that it is this marriage. It is either we die here or we divorce. But now, they both are not willing to work in collaboration.
Yes, but Henry, does that convention in any way says Fécafoot should be taken by surprise, like it all happened? Because that is where the problem is, because Fécafoot was taken by a storm.
No,
you understand?
It's just like every Cameroonian.
No, we've seen the outings of Fécafoot and that telling Cameroonians that they were not aware that is what was going to happen, because they made proposals and nobody called them on the discussion table to say, these proposals you made, we cannot. So that is where the problem lies. And I want to think, do you think there are persons appointed that is kind of causing the problem?
They are the Fécafoot are the ones confusing themselves at this point in time. Before inviting Mark Breeze for another meeting, did they inform the Minister of Sport? They just took and send them an invitation letter. Now, this is my problem.
Yes.
I'm not refusing that they were taken on surprise, just like every Cameroonian. We knew very well, just like every one of us were waiting that after the AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire, eight of us would have come up and give a bilan to say this is what worked out well and this is what did not work out well. We were surprised, like every other, to see him on France 24 narrating stories, telling all sorts of stories about how football is being managed in Cameroon. Now, he made the proposal, and the proposal was not taken into consideration. Hervé Renat even came out clearly and rubbish his claim that he never had the financial discussion with Fécafoot to manage Cameroon on a 1 billion francs salary. Finally, who is fooling who here? Is it Fécafoot or is the Minister of Sport? The Minister of Sport is aware about all the cacophony engulfing football in Cameroon. There are a whole lot of problems. Hi, Sincha. Let me not lie to you.
When you say
there are a whole lot of problems
when you say he's
aware,
aware,
don't want to talk about here because we want to see our children grow up.
Yes.
But let us be sincere for once. And I keep on reiterating that I'm not a civil servant. Neither am I a mouthpiece or a spokesperson of the Ministry of Sport or Fécafoot. I'm just a single and a humble Cameroonian that want to see things work out the right way. It's true Cameroonians hate the people that speak the truth. But for once, let us be sincere to ourselves.
Okay, thank you. Barrister Tembe, during the press conference to publish the list of players caught up, we saw Mark Breeze and the technical staff appointed by Minsep. The following Monday, we saw Mark Breeze and the following staff appointed by Fécafoot in a working session. Is Mark Breeze the ball in all this?
I have the attitude of avoiding to go personal. Now, Mark Breeze is an expert. His services can be sought by any camp.
Of course.
And if at one point I find it comfortable to work with you, I may invite you. If another point I find it comfortable not to work with you, it's another issue. What I think has become a mere piece of paper is the so-called convention.
Yeah.
It has lost its place. And this, fortunately, I've happened to work outside the country. I've worked in Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
And these are some of the errors we make in Cameroon. The issues of whole instruction, high instruction. Let the ministry allow he who has a dream to execute it. The dream of running the affairs of football in Cameroon is in the hands of Fécafoot. And the law is clear. The Fécafoot statute is clear. It can only report. It can only report to the ministry. If at one point we had agreed that in the course of the appointment, the recruitment of coaches, we should be involved. And at a certain time, I think that I'm no longer comfortable with it. The third option is not the sports court. It is whether that so-called convention is enforceable in a civil court. In my opinion, it is not. The only way that the ministry would have, and that is why, respectfully, I always say it, that if not an issue of copy and paste type of drafting, the only way the ministry would have succeeded in implementing the provisions of the said convention, the clauses in the said convention, it would have been to insert them at the time of amending the Fécafoot status. But then the ministry could not also do that. That law did not pass through the parliament without passing through the ministry. That's the line ministry. The ministry could not also do that because it would have conflicted with what entails in FIFA statute. They could not. Now, if you agree that the said convention has become a mere piece of paper, there is every reason for you to step back and allow the person. You do not have a monopoly of knowledge. You do not have a monopoly of expertise, thinking that you can manage everything. The ministry itself has its own force. Let it adjust its house and leave another house for another person.
Thank you
so much. No one has accepted that. It's just the convention has become a mere paper. No one has accepted yet. The FIFA itself recognizes that there was a marriage between Fécafoot and Minsep in 2015.
Yes.
Go back to that responder they sent to Fécafoot.
Okay.
The only regret is the fact that they just have to go back and redefine the terms of that marriage in 2015.
Thank you so much. Barrister Geraldine, Etofis and Fécafoot, to an extent, accepted Mark Breeze.
Yes.
Yes, they accepted Mark Breeze, and then included his name in the list of those they had to appoint. Is it not also time for the Ministry of Sports to become flexible and think that they can equally take into account some of the choices made by Eto'o?
Yes, I do think it's the Ministry of Sports. They need to really calm down, because it's something, it's kind of like a compromise. You've appointed a head coach. They have not denied you that. The head coach, they still maintain him. That's why we found his name at the level of FIFA approving that, yes, that's our head coach. We had the staff appointed by Samuel Eto'o, the technical staff appointed by Samuel Eto'o. To me, it's a fair game at that level, and we thought all had been done at that level, that there was no dust again to be raised until recently, when we found ourselves again at the arbitration and conciliation chambers, which it is where we are today. So to me, my honest opinion, they would have let it, I mean, just bury the hatchet. Move forward. There's no time. We look at the teams that we are about to face. Now we don't even know what is going to happen. We don't even know if we have a coach. Because as we speak, the name of the coach, which used to appear on the FIFA website, is no longer there. And we have games ahead of us. And the opponents we are about to face, they're a difficult one. So, to me, I think we need to really sort out issues. And
Thank you. In addition to what my colleague just said, all this rigmaroling, all this conscious aspect of putting us in a moral situation is only suffering the people of Cameroon.
Of course.
It's only suffering the people of Cameroon.
Somebody said somewhere that there are two...
probably enriching some other persons. It is true. You initiate an action against Fécafoot. I counsel for Fécafoot. There must be a brief on my table. It's enriching me by suffering the people of Cameroon. We have valuable time that can be used for other issues and not concentrating only on the issue of appointments.
Of course.
These are all technicalities, just like my colleague rightly put it, that it is a period for compromise. You must not get it all. And there is a big mountain before us that we have to charge. So because of that, let there be some compromise, and after that they sit on the drawing board.
Thank you. And there is one man at the center of all this. Wherever you see Mark Breeze, you see him. We are talking about the technical advisor #1 at the Ministry of... Yes, Sirin Tolo, technical advisor #1 at the Ministry of Sport and Physical Education. We shall come back to continue the discussions, but let's listen to what he said on Thursday concerning the squabbles.
At Dingwaikele Stadium this Thursday morning was Mark Breeze and other members of the Indomitable Lions technical bench appointed by the Minister of Sport and Physical Education, like the assistant coach Francois Oman Biyik, goalkeeper trainer Ayumboka, coordinator of national selections Benjamin Banlok, team press officer Jemenuel Esenge, and as usual accompanied by the technical advisor #1 at Minsep, Sirin Tolo, who acknowledged the growing squabbles with Fécafoot.
Concerning the relationship with Fécafoot, I have a word to Mr. Samuel Eto'o as a patriot. If we have differences, of course, we can have differences, but sometimes we have to cool down, lest these two games, comes and pass, and then we can sit together with Fécafoot, and discuss about all the subject. But now we need to focus on the main objectives, which is to win the two encounters that are coming.
The technical staff is here to evaluate the state of the field, which will serve as a training ground for the Indomitable Lions ahead of their double World Cup qualifiers against Cape Verde and Angola on June 8 and 11 respectively.
We saw some pictures before. I think the choice here was the right choice. The field was already better than the others. You see, the field is very, very good. To train good without too much guys who wants to see how you train and what you do. So we have to be careful with that. And so I'm very happy that the choice was this.
Mark Breeze declares that central defender Jean-Charles Castilito is injured and will not be part of the squad for the two games. The rest of the players are all expected in Yaoundé on June 2nd for training to begin on the 3rd.
Thank you so much, and you are welcome back. Henry, you listen to Siri Tolo there, making a call. How genuine do you think is that call?
I sincerely think that he's right, that at one point in time, no one is perfect on earth. We just have to put a pause and then flip a new page on how we can manage. Just that you meet a very stubborn personality like Samuel Eto'o, who is not willing to adhere to embrace peace at one point in time, because like he said, I do not say it myself, he said it clearly that his relationship with the Minister of Sport is not the best. But I think that at one point in time, we are Cameroonians and we are working for the good of this nation. If we tarnish the image of this nation today, I begin to imagine, are we going to import Ghanaians to come and rebuild the image of Cameroon? It's not possible. So it's important that we bury the hatchet and pretend as if nothing ever happened yesterday. Remember, I begin to ask myself the question at this point in time that who shall profit if Cameroon is being banned from international competitions? Will Eto'o still be able to parade the corridors as president of Fécafoot freely, or the Ministry of Sport and Physical Education will be blamed? We are all Cameroonians. Let them bury their differences of yesterday and flip a new page for a new dawn.
Barrister Tembe, is it not logical to handle the issues before? Why push the issues after the games?
With respect to the issues, we are not talking about putting the cart before the horse. Okay. It is better for the issues to be handled before the game. But looking at the time, it appears the time
it's a problem.
is not on our side. We now have a big problem, the game. Like I said, we are not finding ourselves in a matching ground, in a moral situation. Don't know how to handle it. When you put your foot here, you still get the issue. Looking at the timing, the period of the game is short. I will need a staff to convene the players who will come, to convoke the players who will come, to convene them, to give them the technicalities how we have to go about it. But then, if we allow them to execute the first aspect of their contract, what becomes of the previous ones? How do the staff, how would they even find themselves into the arena when Fécafoot has not furnished the name to FIFA? Immediately Fécafoot furnishes the name to FIFA. Will Fécafoot be able to withdraw it immediately after the game? But in all this, it is the people of Cameroon that are suffering more than their personal ego. There are moments in life that to try as much as possible to keep your ego aside and look at the majority. Yes, this person, the stance of this person, it is not the best. It does not reflect what the law says. But I think it is not also killing me. So because it is not killing me, let us put heads together and see how we work towards it.
Is it not this notion that what will people say? Is it not haunting some of them?
No, the issue of what will people say.
They will always say something.
This is the mindset of bad administrators. When you are taking a decision as an administrator, you think of posterity. How will posterity judge it? And not what the immediate man will say. Because they will always say. There must always be something to be said in the negative and in the positive. But when you are taking a decision, you put your integrity and you put posterity.
When you listen to Professor Siri Toro, do you have the impression that he knows where the problem is and then he's trying to beat around?
I think all of them, they know where the problem is coming from. They should know. It's an internal problem that was made public to us all, which I thought, or I think, would have been well managed by them, by both bodies, Fécafoot and Minsep. It is unfortunate that it had to come out this way. And everybody expressed their disgruntlement, especially the Fécafoot president, because honestly, if we have to look at Article 13, that 13 of the Minsep Fécafoot Convention, it clearly talks about concerted management. It talks about both bodies. I mean, it's what you sign. You should be able to dialogue with me. You should be able to tell me that, okay, this is what I have on board. What do you think? should we validate this? There should be some sort of compromise. Without which, I don't think all of these things, it would have been a problem to us, because it's their convention. Both of them signed that, and they had to. If you look at what FIFA sent, the letter FIFA sent to Samuel Eto'o, replying to what he sent, he stressed on the fact that we should not only look at Article 9, we should go to Section 13, which warrants that both parties should collaborate to the maximum. I guess FIFA was not seeing any collaboration between the duo. That's why he emphasized on that section. And later on, concluded by saying both parties need to get on the deck to revise the said convention which binds them.
And FIFA may take our time to caution, but when the time will come to strike.
Of course. So they will not need to have a rethink. They have the time now to resolve their differences.
Yes.
From the response from FIFA, it was a telling sign that they have to go back to the drawing board, sit down together. It was Dr. Pierre Ismail Bidoukwat, who was the then Minister of Sport and Physical Education. He's still very much alive. Yes. We had Seydou Momojoya, who was the president back then. He too is alive. These were the two parties that signed this agreement. Eto'o just inherited it and just have to continue. If he cannot continue, he should discuss with the minister that I do not see the need for us to continue with this marriage between Fécafoot and Minsep. I want us to have a divorce.
The technical advisor is seeking for a pause in the problem. If the problem is being paused at this moment,
it is rather too late that we cannot have a pause at this point in time.
Yes, if the problem is being paused here, we have 2 games coming up. Which of the technical staff will sit to manage the players?
That will be difficult because it is the Ministry of Sport that pays the salary of the technical staff.
And it is Fécafoot that submits the list of the technical staff to FIFA.
Now, Fécafoot does not want to discuss with the Minsep. Minsep is not willing to discuss with Fécafoot. I keep on saying that these two parts, the errors of yesterday are gone. They should bury a hatchet. Because all those who were appointed, they too need money. They know how much they are going to earn a salary. They are very happy.
Of course.
They're already celebrating. So if you tell them now that you're not going to continue working, allow this other party to continue, it's a problem. Therefore, means your image has been tarnished. Now, forget about what people talk about. Like Barrister said it all. That people always talk. Whether you do good or you do evil, they always talk about you. It's true, we all have pride. But at one point in time, we try to bury our pride and then pick up life the way it presents itself. Life will always slap us on our faces, whether you like it or not. So I keep on reiterating that at this point in time, the most important thing is for Cameroon to secure her chances in qualifying for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. But if not, if we are being banned, how then will the president of Fécafoot look at the head of state, President Pobia?
That is where the problem is. And I come back to you, Barrister Tembe.
Okay, sorry, Tambe.
Tambe, sorry about that. If it happens that we play the games with the government-appointed technical staff without the approval of Fécafoot, where shall we be heading to, like a country, in relation with FIFA?
I'm not even seeing the possibility of ministry-appointed staff accessing the team in a FIFA-organized
tournament.
You saw them there inspecting the
I have seen them
training ground.
I've seen them inspecting.
The training ground.
I'm not seeing the possibility. I'm not seeing how they will gain access into a FIFA-organized event.
Competition.
But the only person I see having access, it is Fécafoot appointed staff. That is the only person I see. How would they even start? They do not have the handle, the reporting handle, the communication handle. They don't have it. It is Fécafoot that has it. It is me, Fécafoot, that I'm submitting my list. It is Fécafoot who will convoke players. The summons,
invitation letters.
the invitation letters that will be sent to Andrew and in Manchester United. It should come from Fécafoot and not the ministry. It comes from the ministry and touches the Manchester United authority, and they just put it twists it and put it in their dustbin. There is no recourse. The only recourse can come when it is coming from the ministry, from Fécafoot. That's another issue, but rightly, and in my humble opinion and observation, is that the actual problem that is presented to the people of Cameroon, it is not what is before the parties. The parties have hidden agendas. That is why I talk about it. They bury their egos. I am telling you for free that if you come today, you take off the minister and his staff from the scene. president and his staff from the scene and bring neutral persons to resolve this issue, it will not take 30 minutes.
For sure.
The world is just smiling. But it is their personal.
And
it's their personal issues that are put in front and they are hiding it before this. Immediately, we are talking about ADR. We want to solve issues, not looking at what it is written in the law. We try to keep the law outside.
Yeah.
We should not be citing the provision of article. This said this, article this said
just
this.
confusing.
Just
confusing Cameroonians
with that is why I said at the
law.
beginning that it appears like it is a decor which are planning to keep Cameroonians busy.
Thank you so much, Barrister. You permit us take some messages. We have over 100 of them. But let me just pick this one for now. If the Ministry of Sports wanted peace, he would have called the president of the Cameroon Football Federation before appointing Mark Brice and the staff. The ministry does not want peace. How can he appoint Benjamin Banlock as coordinator of national selection? Why Banlock was a problem with the president of Fécafoot? That is where some of the problem is.
For sure. Yes, so for sure.
Maybe the problem here might not be Mark Brice.
He doesn't have any problem. If I told you accepted Mark Brice, therefore means Mark Brice is not a problem. His problem there is Banlock and the rest.
Yeah, technically, if you have to look at it that way, because I cannot have my Secretary General and he works for me at the level of Fécafoot, and then we had issues. He was suspended, and later on, he has to come and be the coordinator of the national team. It is more than meet the eyes. Maybe there is more to all of this that we are seeing, as my colleague said here.
Okay, let's take this from Gilberto from Limbe, Gilberto Gilles from Limbe. They say the issue should be resolved now so that it will not affect the players because time is running out. I think our government should not interfere in football-related matters. FIFA really want football federations to manage affairs of their football in their various countries. Let FIFA spell out the rules and the body in charge of football-related matters. I think
FIFA has directed them for a revision.
That's it.
Okay, so we are expecting the players in Cameroon, in Yaoundé in particular, because they'll be camping in Yaoundé on the 2nd. Yeah. And he just made mention of a national a national coordinator here. And when we talk of national coordinator, they have a task, making sure that all the players get to Cameroon, making sure that they prepare the logistics and everything. So who now will be in charge of this thing?
But I think Banlock is the one in charge. We have just a subordinate appointed by Fécafoot, Pensy and the rest. So at this point in time, we have just barely some maximum about 5 more days to see what kind of music, if I start the music, the rhythm of the music is going to change, or we shall continue having the same music. And if at all nothing is being done, we should not expect to have the game Cameroon Cape Verde and Cameroon Angola. We should expect a ban from FIFA because it's not proper that you have a single national team and you have 2 technical staff. It can't work that way.
And there are 2 angles to it. If you play with an illegal technical staff,
you will not be validated.
You are fired. If you don't play, you are fired. So we are caught in the web where we have to trash issues before the game.
The greatest mistake that Fécafoot did was to have appointed another technical staff. Like I said, they would have just approved another technical staff.
Are you the one seeing it as a mistake, or you think Fécafoot is seeing it as a mistake?
I'm the one seeing that way because they would have approved what the Ministry of Sport did. And so, okay, since Fécafoot has instructed that we should revise the convention, let us accept for now and then go back and see how to negotiate. But I keep on saying that the 2 are not willing to discuss, because if the Minister of Sport and Fécafoot president decide to sit down today like brothers of the same nation, like Harrison, let us discuss. For whatever problem we had yesterday, let us bury it. Let's put the interest of this nation. You see that they do not love Cameroonians. That's the telling sign we have today. If truly these 2 parties love Cameroonians, they will try to bury their differences and put the interests of these people called Cameroonians at the forefront of it all. But if we are today, if we continue that Cameroon is being banned, then I think these 2 parties should be banned too from Cameroon for 4 years or 10 years.
There is something I think will be proper. We have it corrected.
Yes.
As far as the governing body, the world governing body of football is concerned, which Fécafoot is an affiliate, it is one list. The Fécafoot appointed has nothing to do. And the ministry appointed has nothing to do. The minister cannot write to Manchester United inviting Onana. They cannot. It is Fécafoot. So that is the only one that is existing as far as we are talking.
And will the minister accept?
That's
my problem.
The issue now,
because there's a conflict of interest.
The issue now is as to whether the minister will accept. That is another.
That's what I'm saying.
The minister, we had agreed that let us collaborate. And at one point, I think that I can no longer collaborate with you. What was the give and take? Okay, you assist me in recruiting, and I will pay their staff. And now I'm saying that I'm strong enough to pay.
Were they the ones that even
okay.
They made the law.
Let's move to something else. Okay. We have 2 games coming up, and with all this happening, how is this going to affect our players?
Psychologically.
Firstly, it will touch their psyche. One, football, for those who have played football, they will agree with me that it is not just the 90 minutes on the pitch.
Of course.
The preparation, the build up to it is one. There are players who until now, they are not even aware whether there will be someone for the event. And there are some who are still doubtful on the invitations that they gave to them. How legit is this invitation? So they have to first of all prepare their mindset. In my opinion, it is not working positively for the team and for the players. And it is also discouraging the binationals who are sitting on the fence.
Still
who are sitting on the fence and hoping that they may lean on this other side. When you start getting informations like this, for someone who is first of all not used to the environment, it scares the individual.
Barrister, we've always had a national team in the past where camps were the order of the day. This time around, when this is happening, don't you think it is just going to multiply the camps in the Lions Den?
Definitely, most definitely. It's unfortunate that all of this is happening in this present age and time. Yes, it is really, really unfortunate. And to this our beloved country, Cameroon, a football nation, when other countries, I don't know how players are, I don't even know if they are thinking they're going to even have a match ahead, because
of course they should be thinking.
Yes,
their names were published, so they should be thinking towards that direction.
They're thinking back.
The
names were published by Mark Breeze, and it should be clear that Mark Breeze, Fécafoot accepted Mark Breeze. So which means somehow, because after their first meeting, that is when Fécafoot officially published the list of players, which means they were in accord with him.
It accepted,
the players.
Yes, we respect the players.
It accepted.
I shall come back to you.
Accepted and later on suspended. Because at his stance, Mark Breeze is suspended.
Of course.
Now we hear of a meeting that's going to take place.
How can you suspend somebody whom you never give a contract to?
No, but he approved. He approved. Yes, he approved.
Cameroon is just a movie.
I think
the whole scenario are seen in
Henry, I think lawyers are here, and if I'm not getting it wrong, there is what we call verbal agreement. Even if you don't sign a contract, at least there is a verbal accord.
He approved, and we are where we are today. I just hope they sit down still and talk.
Suspended and call for a meeting on Tuesday.
He called for a meeting, and so we don't even know the verdict. We don't even know the outcome of that meeting.
Henry, you seem not to be very convinced.
No,
Eto did not say.
Suspense. He never appointed, but he approved.
Fécafoot did not say maybe they have sacked Mark Breeze. They say suspended. It's like Eto is his boss for now, because after the recruitment by the minister,
he has never met him.
The minister, he made it very clear that he will be working in close collaboration with Fécafoot. If he was suspended, and now the federation thinks that they have to come back for a talk. Now, let me queue up with you. Do you see anything fruitful coming out from that?
I doubt.
Why do you doubt?
I doubt. I said it here that these two parties are not willing to work in collaboration. They might be accepting Mark Breeze today because they have no choice at this point in time. And what happens to the other technical staff appointed by the Ministry of Sport? I doubt if anything meaningful can come out from it all. Because You cannot approve. You approve Mark Breeze today, appointed by the Ministry of Sport and Physical Education.
Of course, that's what
was signed contract. Yes. And then you are taking, you are suspending him to calling for a meeting. You want to take him for, let me say, the competition. Do you think the Ministry of Sport this time around you are placing Mark Breeze in a tight situation? Some are even proposing that if they were Mark Breeze, they would have resigned and go back to their country. And because he has no choice, that's why he's still sit in the position that I must coach the national team of Cameroon. It's heartbreaking that coming to Africa for the very first time to a nation like Cameroon is the very first time that we are witnessing such a cacophony in terms of football management in this country. At a point in time where we thought football would be given a new facelift in a country, because those who used to manage football were never former footballers. They were all managers and business persons that came to manage football. But then we had hoped that since we're having a former footballer coming to manage football in Cameroon, then maybe something much more better will be coming up. But here are we today. Look at the situation. Both on and off the pitch, the scenario is tense. There is uncertainty looming in the horizon.
I stay with you. With all this happening, we have a match against Cape Verde, and they are very much on top form. What are our chances?
If the atmosphere is porous, what expectation, what chances do you want? There is nothing. We should hope for nothing. Except the house is cleaned. Then we shall hope for something better, because there is uncertainty, Mr. Cha. There is uncertainty looming on the horizon. And from a grieving point, we all as Cameroonians were watching.
We are watching, and then many people are watching and sending us text messages. But please let me just take this one. He says, since when did a minister become a state? We have the 2014 law and even that of 2018 law. Let the minister leave Fécafoot in its domain of competence. Thank you. That is coming from Yungsi in Yaoundé. Just to correct that, the minister is part of the state because the head of state acts through his different ministers. Barrister Tambe, we are moving out because time is not on our side. What is the way forward?
For the period of time I have lived in Cameroon, I'm knowing so well that a meeting has been convened. I am so convinced that there will be good instructions. There will be instructions from above. And I'm also very convinced that there are background works ongoing now between the ministry and the
Federation
to see how they can have this issue resolved. Don't underrate the rule of the indomitable lion as far as the national unity is concerned.
Sure.
And we should not rule out the fact that presidential election comes up very soon. And they usually use the national team for campaign. World Cup, we are preparing to qualify for World Cup.
Especially when we are coming back from a very porous AFCON.
That is what the State House will not joke. It will not joke. So I'm very sure that after the meeting in the days ahead, issues will be resolved and the people of Cameroon will smile. Because I also read a tweet purported to have come from Inside to Face, who said at the end, summarizing, paraphrasing, that at the end, Cameroon should win.
Which
at the end, Cameroon
now they're asking which of the Cameroons? Cameroon Minsep or Cameroon Fécafoot?
Anyway, there's only one Cameroon. Maybe with different Cameroonians.
For me, I think dialogue. Dialogue is the key to all of this. Dialogue. All of this seesaw.
A frank one at that.
Yes, a frank one. All of this seesaw should stop. We just need dialogue from both bodies. Fécafoot, Minsep. We need dialogue.
Thank you.
Egos.
Henry, you have maybe the last 1 minute of this program.
Well, I just want to say, not differ to what others have said, just to say that we need a sincere and a frank dialogue to chart the way forward. Cameroon is a mature nation when it comes to soccer in this continent. We know how much has been given to football in this country, and we expect that we should continue the same winning wave. It's rather heartbreaking that we are finding ourselves in a kind of situation like this, between a tug of war between Minsep and Fécafoot, of just a very little thing that they could just resolve within a twinkle of an eye for us to move forward. I just pray and pray solely that we should get a lasting solution, for I fear for us to be banned.
Thank you, gentlemen and lady. Thank you so very much for watching. If we did not take your messages, do not be angry, because we had tons of them and they were pretty long. So we just plead that when next, you will just have to make your points short and straight to the point. If you miss out on anything, do not forget to watch the rebroadcast of this program, which will be coming up on Wednesday at 11 p.m. Till we meet again next Saturday, stay blessed.